Hello everybody, in this video I'll be showing you guys how to use the AI text and voice generation toolkit. This video is specifically going to be covering how to use the speech to text core functionality. The first thing that you guys are going to need to do is set up your Azure speech to text resource. If you guys do not already have that made, then you guys can check the link in the description for a video that I made on how to do that. So after you've done that, I'm going to create a new scene. You guys don't have to, but I recommend you guys also create a new scene so that you guys learn how to do this. I'm going to call it speech to text, just like that. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to create a new empty. I'm going to call this speech to text manager, just like that. And I'm going to reset the transform here. Now I'm going to add a I'm not going to add any components. I'm going to create a new C# script. And I'm going to call this speech to text manager. I'm going to go open up in Visual Studios and reload it. Okay, I'm going to go back into Unity here and drag and drop my speech to text script onto my speech to text game object. I'm going to go ahead and right click, create a new UI canvas. Then I'm going to, inside the UI canvas, I'm going to create a new UI legacy text. If you guys want, you guys can use TextMesh Pro, but I'm going to be using the legacy text for this video. And I'm going to call it transcript. And now I'm going to change it the width and height to 512 both. And I'm going to move it up 64 units. I'm going to change the text to be black so it's easier to see. And then I'm also going to change the background in my camera to be a solid color. And then I'm going to change the solid color value to 70. Okay, now that I have this, I'm also going to change the font size to 32 and change it to, actually I'm not going to change it to bold. And I'm going to go ahead and right click on my canvas, UI legacy button. If you guys want, you guys can use the TextMesh Pro button, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to call this record. Now inside of this button right here, I'm going to change the text to record. I'm going to change the font to 100. I'm going to change the font style to bold. I'm going to go back into my button, and I'm going to change the width to 512 and the height to 128. And I'm going to move it down 256 units down. Negative 256. Just like that. Now you see it perfectly lines up with the transcript right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up my speech to text manager script. We'll go ahead and get rid of the start and update functions and get rid of the using system.collections and using system.collections.generic. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new serialized field, private text. I'm going to call text right here and then Unity engine.ui, and I'm going to name it transcript text. And now I'm going to duplicate it and change the text to button and name it record button. Now I'm going to go back into the Unity editor and assign these variables. And for those that don't know what the serialized field thing does right here that I had, what it does is it will show the value into the inspector. Public does that as well. But the thing is about public is other scripts can access it, and you might accidentally change the value of record button or transcript text to be a value that you don't want it to be. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a new awake function. In the awake function, I'm going to write record button .onClick.add listener. Now this is going to need a function that returns void here. So I'm going to write private void, and I'm going to call this record. And I'm going to go ahead and add this record function right here onto my .add listener here. Now this record will need two private variables, so we can use this record thing. One is going to be is recording, and the other one is going to be a private microphone utils for microphone. I'm going to call it microphone here. And this is going to need to be a class that I'm going to need to set a value to. So I'm going to write microphone utils and microphone equals a new microphone utils and x0. Now this index right here, the 0, is going to be the mic, the index of the mic. To figure out which mic you want to use, you go to Tools, Text and Voice Generation Toolkit, Azure Speech, log all mic names. They'll log all the mic names for you, and then all you need to do is find the one with the correct index. For me, I want to use my toner, so I'm going to go with index 0 right here. So that's what I already have it as. Now on my record, I'm going to want to write if not is recording. So if it is not recording, then I want to start recording. So I'm going to write microphone dot start recording. Else, if it's not if it is recording already, I want to write microphone dot stop recording. And then then I'm going to write is recording equals to not is recording. So my is recording is going to be set to the opposite of its value. Now, the stop recording is going to return an audio clip. So I'm going to go ahead and get the audio clip as a variable. Audio clip equals that. Yep. Now I'm going to need to create a new speech to text variable right here. Speech to text. Just like that. Then I'm going to name it speech to text equals a new speech to text. Just like that. Now it's going to need the language that you're going to be speaking in and also the region. So and also the subscription key. So for the language that you're going to be speaking in, you're going to want to write Azure speech.enums.language, then choose the language that you are going to be speaking in. For me, it's going to be ENUS. Just like that. Then for the region, you're going to need to write Azure enums.region.your region. So the region of your resource. For me, it's East US. Then you're going to need the subscription key. And I'm going to fill that in off cam. So now that you have that made, you're going to want to write speech to text dot get text from speech. And you want to pass in the audio clip. And you're going to want to await this. Because if you guys do not await this, then the problem is it will freeze your application. So that's why you want to put this await. Otherwise, it will freeze your application, and you do not want that. So now you're going to want to write Azure speech JSONs dot speech to text response. I'm going to name this response. It's going to equal a new. It's going to equal this. And this is a custom class that has the content of the response that Azure gives with the speech to text. So now I'm going to write transcript text dot text is going to equal the response dot display text. Just like that. And now everything here is set up so that we can go back into Unity to do this. So now I'm back in Unity, I'm going to go ahead and make sure my variables are assigned, and they are right here. I'm going to go ahead and click play now. And now I'm going to click record. Text and Voice Generation Toolkit is a really cool plugin for Unity. Now I'm going to wait for it to give me the response. Text and Voice Generation Toolkit is really cool plugin for Unity. Now, the only reason why this doesn't work very well is because I slightly stutter whenever I talk. This might also not work very well if you have an accent, but this is the best that you can do. So, if you guys have any questions, you guys can leave them in the comments.